Welcome to Small Business Hacks. There is a reality that not many people are aware of. An alarming truth that gigantic media conglomerates are battling right now for your eyeballs. They are spending billions every year on research, all intended to find ways to grab your attention, even using the most primitive human impulses. This worldwide billionaire effort created an enormous distraction problem, something unheard at any other point in human history. We are spending more than 6 hours per day looking at the same objects, screens. We cannot keep our focus anymore. The attention span from modern people is less than 8 seconds, according to Canadian researchers. Our concentration capacity dropped below the levels of a goldfish. To put it into perspective, a medieval watchtower guard or a ship iceberg watcher spent less time looking to the horizon than the average Filipino spends looking at computer and phone screens. As an aspiring writer, I had the same problem, until I read a book from Cal Newport called Deep Work. You may already know Cal from his other books, like Digital Minimalism. Together with Nassim Taleb, he's one of those few modern authors that every time I read them, I found brilliant insights. In this video, I will tell you how the guidance of this book helped to boost my productivity, and it can help you too. First, choose your targets with the utmost care. What you choose to focus your attention on has an immense impact on your attitude. After a traumatic life event, shifting the attention focus can reboot an individual. It signalizes a new beginning. The lack of focus is also counterproductive. Lack of focus will drive your mind to focus on what is wrong instead of what is good. So days spent focusing on nothing can be draining. Even if at the beginning everything looks harmless and fun. Do not take me wrong, I'm not condemning leisure. But not all recreation is the same. Arts, reading, crafts are examples where you can relax and exercise focus. They have the additional benefit that after a full day of practice, the sense of self-realization builds enjoyment. But one may think, I'm already so concentrated at work. Why even my leisure should be focused? This is a double false premise. First is that most jobs nowadays are not fully focused, especially corporate jobs, which are ridden by distractions. The second falsification is that this implies, this premise, that our brain gets tired of focusing. This is not true. Our brains are not like our legs or arms that get weary by effort. In fact, the effort originated by deep work can stimulate your mind to the point that it asks for more. This is a discovery that the game industry uses to make players glue their eyes to the screen, solving tasks and challenges. Your brain does not want to sleep. It wants to get challenged. With that in mind, I partially abandoned other forms of leisure like television and turned into writing. This was the beginning of my journey, which 1 year later turned me into the author of 2 Amazon bestsellers. Second, when you work, work hard. When you're done, be done. With distraction blurring my routine, I had another problem that the reader may identify with. I was frequently staying late at work to not miss deadlines. I was treating my work as a marathon where my objectives were achieved by persisting during a large amount of time. Cal Newport taught me another way to handle repetitive tasks, which he calls shallow work. Handle them like a 200-meter runner. Explosively fast, stopping only when they are finished, so you can concentrate on what evolves your skills and demand cognitive capacity. By doing this, I drastically reduced the time spent checking emails or updating indicators. Now, I focus on what can really increase my output. This is the philosophy of a legendary CEO called Andy Grove. I talked about it in another video. The success of a company is the sum of the outputs of the members. Once you finish your work, create a shutdown ritual. Cal Newport said a phrase that he says out loud, as funny as it sounds, every time he finishes workday. Shutdown complete. Mine is time to go home. After 2 weeks of practicing this habit, you create a mental cue. A cue that it's time to leave all work-related worries at your desk, go to your home, and crack a cold one. Because, as Cal puts, when you work hard. When you're done, be done. Your average email response time might suffer, but you'll more than make up for this with the sheer volume of truly important work done. Your productivity will increase thanks to your refreshed ability to dive deeper than your exhausted peers. Third, how to differentiate deep work from shallow work. In entry jobs, the workload often is full of shallow work. Even for senior positions, however, from 30 to 50% of all the tasks are cognitively shallow. There is a common distaste in the fact that we spend too much time on tasks that do not demand brain power. This results in an underestimation of how much shallow work invaded our routine. An easy test to discover if a certain activity is shallow is to ask yourself the following question: how long would it take to train a college graduate with no specialized training in my field to complete this task? If the answer is measured by months, then your task is shallow work. To answer this question will force you to face the reality of how little time you are actually using your full cognitive power. You will discover how much of your time is used to create value with skilled work. Once you realize, like I did, that you are spending too much time in jobs that you can outsource to a virtual assistant or automate, your routine will change. I stopped wasting hours with posts on social media for my business. I filtered out social networks like Snapchat that do not add value to our model. Defeated the famous fear of missing out, FOMO, that people feel when they do not join the most recent and often useless trends. Start to say no to shallow activities. Automate the repetitive and brainless part of your routine. Your productivity will be catapulted. Your brain will feel better. Prefer activities that are challenging and help you to acquire or improve your skills. In other words, do less shallow work and more deep work. By the way, please allow me a small digression. If you're enjoying this video, please give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button for our next videos and activate the notifications. Now back to our subject. A last advice: walk around and cool down. Before, I said that you should substitute shallow tasks for focused, skilled activities. But we know that this is not always easy. There is, however, a low-hanging fruit you can pick. One that can increase your capacity to perform deep work, defeat distraction, and increase your productivity. Your commuting time. Look around you the next time you are on public transport. Chances are that everyone around will be scrolling down the infinite timelines from Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Social networks that are, by excellence, the shallow distractions of our times. Social networks that are damaging our cognitive capacity and exploring our leisure time for their own benefit. What if you could use this time to put your cell phone back in the pocket and think about possible solutions for your most complex challenges? So many great authors had their most brilliant ideas developed while walking forests or beaches. But the constant shallow distraction of social media is killing future masterpieces. After taking this advice from the book Deep Work by Cal Newport, I started to stroll in the small but beautiful park close to my home. Without headphones, without using my phone, during one of those slow walks, I had the idea of writing my third book, already published. In another walk in the park, I imagined my first fiction series about an explorer team of the Triple Alliance War in South America. You have the potential to be a bestseller writer, a great scientist, a breakthrough entrepreneur. All you need is to stop distracting yourself from your future achievements. Time to leave the social media timeline and build your story. And thanks for watching.